going on, everybody? It's your man Lucky. I'm back with another one, y'all. Listen, I want to talk about something, and this right here is it's something that I think happens a whole lot. I think it happens very, very often in relationships, but I think a lot of people don't really know the signs or what it actually is. You know what I'm saying? They a lot of people don't recognize that there is a such thing. Okay, so here we go. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about relationship burnout, y'all. I'm talking about relationship burnout. I never really knew that there was such a. I knew that there was such a thing, I guess. But I never knew that it was a thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, when you've been in a relationship for a long time and things kind of get, just complacent, mundane, just routine or whatever, it's kind of like, the relationship doesn't really seem like it's growing any or anything like that, right? So that sometimes could be a sign of relationship burnout, you know what I mean? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys a few signs, a few signs of relationship burnout to see if that is in fact what you might be going through in your relationship. If you tend to argue a lot or, just you feel emotionally drained, man, it really could be relationship burnout, okay? So I found this really interesting, and I really didn't want to leave anything out, so I took some notes. So you might see me looking down from time to time. That's just me taking a look at my notes because I really wanted to touch on everything. And when I usually just kind of go off the top of my head, I don't, some things I forget and I leave out by mistake, okay? So relationship burnout, right? So one sign of relationship burnout is when you have what's known as intrusive thoughts, right? So, it sounds terrible, but it's really not. It's just kind of like when you're thinking about your spouse, you're thinking about your partner all day, all night, just all day, all night. You can't stop thinking about them, right? There's a reason why you're thinking about them so much, right? There's something that's not going right in your eyes in a relationship, right? And you're getting like, I don't know if it's like a sense of fear or whatever, but for whatever reason, you just constantly are thinking about this person, and it actually tends to drain you, right? It's like you're thinking about this person so much that it starts to drain you, right? They're just always on your mind for whatever reason. That's one sign of just like relationship burnout. It sounds crazy, right? It sounds crazy, but that's one sign of like relationship burnout, okay? Next, another sign of relationship burnout is you get a feeling like you're always tired. You're always tired, right? And typically the reason why you're always tired is because your mind is always racing. Your mind is always racing because you're always thinking about your partner, right? So it causes you to think about your partner at night. So guess what? At night, you can't get a good night's sleep. When you wake up in the morning, now you're drained. You're still tired because you didn't get a good night's sleep because your partner, your spouse, husband, wife, whatever, is just constantly on your mind, on your mind, on your mind, on your mind. You can't get them off your mind. And so you can't get them out your mind. And so when you get a feeling like you're just tired all the time, okay, you're in a relationship and you're just tired all the time, that could be signs of relationship burnout. Another sign of, potentially looking like, you're burnt out in your relationship is if you feel like you have a need to get away from your partner. Now, when I say get away, I don't mean like you running away from them, like you gone, pew, as soon as they turn their eyes, turn their back, you gone. I'm not talking about that. I'm speaking about the fact that, of course, if you're married, you guys cohabitate, you always get a feeling like, man, you just need a vacation from them. If you just always feel like you need a vacation from your partner because your partner just drains you, that could be a sign that you're suffering from relationship burnout. If you just feel like you always just like need to get away. You know what I'm saying? You know, you guys cohabitate, you're together pretty much all the time, and now you just need a weekend, or you need 5 days or 7 days just away from your partner. Okay, that could mean that you're burnt out in your relationship. Okay, and I can see that. I can see this happening to just normal couples, just normal regular couples. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, listen. You go to work, right? You get days off from work, right? You get days off. You get time off. You work 8 hours a day. If you work 8 hours a day, typically you're at your job for 8 hours a day. You have a whole other 16 hours to do whatever it is that you want to do. Typically, you're with your partner or around your partner the same amount of time that you are at work or more, right? But see, work, you get days off. But in your relationship, you don't really get days off. You understand what I'm saying? So if you and your partner haven't, you yourself haven't had a vacation, just a solo vacation, just a weekend to get away, or just a week by yourself to kind of unwind and, just relax and reconnect with yourself or whatever it may take, you could be suffering from relationship burnout. It's just constant all day, not all day, but every day, just every day, every day, every day, every day, right? All of the things that I just said, right? Like just intrusive thoughts. You're always thinking about your partner. You're tired all the time. Why? Because you're always thinking about your partner. So you don't get a good night, don't get a good night's sleep, right? All of that stuff can come into play, and they begin to compound, right? They start slowly just piling up, piling up, piling up. This does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over a course of time. So it like slowly sneaks up on you without you really realizing what's happening. It slowly sneaks up on you. You slowly get burnt out. Burnout doesn't happen just overnight at the snap of a finger. It slowly happens just over the course of time. And most of the time, we don't even realize that it's happening, right? We know something is happening, but we don't know what it is, and we're blaming it on a whole bunch of things. We're pretty much blaming it on our partner. This is all your fault. This is your fault because you this or you that or whatever. Because you're not understanding that there is a such thing called relationship burnout. And so who else to blame? You understand what I'm saying? Who else to blame but your partner? Now y'all start, getting into arguments and little stuff like that. Who else to blame but your partner, right? But it's really not your partner. It's just you're suffering from relationship burnout, right? Another sign of relationship burnout is emotion, like when you're beginning to feel just like emotionally drained, right? When you're beginning to feel just emotionally drained. And I guess this would be, I don't know if this would be more towards the women because, it has to do with emotions, but men are emotional as well. So men can be emotionally drained. So scratch that, scratch that. I guess it works across the board both ways, right? Emotionally drained. Does your partner boost you emotionally? You understand what I'm saying? Or is your partner emotionally unavailable, right? So a lot of times we need a boost, right? Sometimes we just need to hear certain things from our partner, right? And if we're not hearing those things from our partner, then we feel as though our partner is not there for us emotionally, right? So if you constantly have to emotionally stimulate yourself and you feel like your partner is not emotionally stimulating you, that can be a sign of relationship burnout. That right there can be a sign of relationship burnout, okay? Are you exhausted, right? And not are you tired, right? Are you just exhausted when you are around your partner? Are you just exhausted? Like you need a day off after y'all go on a date, right? Does that person just drain you? Like when you go out on a date, right? You should feel passionate about going on that date, right? You should feel excited. You should feel happy, right? You should feel like emotionally stimulated, right? But if you don't, you know what I mean? After that date, you like, whew, I'm glad I made it out of there. I'm glad I was able to get out of that situation. It's only been 2 hours and I'm free. Whew, I gotta go home and get some sleep, take a nap, because that was rough. If that's how you feel when you're with your partner, that could be a sign that you know you're suffering from relationship burnout. You understand what I'm saying? You could be suffering from relationship burnout. Do you hit your breaking? Let me see. How can I say this? Do you reach your max? Right. When I say do you reach your max? Right. Man, how can I explain this one? This one is going to be kind of tough, right? But do you get to the point where you want to spaz out? I guess I'll put it like that. Do you ever just get to the point where you've reached like the highest point that you can reach before you get ready to just snap? You understand what I'm saying? Like, does your partner get you to that point where you just feel like, I need to take a deep breath. I need to walk away and take a deep breath because this is not going well. If when you're with your partner, you get to that point, if your partner is the one that's getting you to that point, now let me scratch that, because it might not be your partner that's getting you to that point. It just might be you being emotionally drained, right? It just might be you being emotionally drained. It might not even be your partner that is draining you. It's you that's emotionally drained. And so if you are emotionally drained and when you're with your partner, you're noticing that you're feeling like, you know what I'm saying? You've reached the top and you're about to just spaz out. You're about to explode and you have to say, ho, let me just kind of fall back and take a deep breath. That could be, or that is a sign of relationship burnout. Again, this relationship burnout thing I think is very, very common in a lot of relationships, but I don't think a lot of people really understand what it is. I think a lot of people just kind of look at it as, man, hey, maybe this ain't the right person for me. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, we've been together for a while. Because usually relationship burnout happens after you've been in a relationship for like an extended amount of time. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. All of these things don't just happen overnight and you just wake up one day like, I'm burnt out. You know what I mean? You might wake up one day and say it, but you didn't just wake up one day and become burnt out. It happened over a course of time. It's just you woke up one day and was like, something's not right. Typically, you're not going to think that you're burnt out because of the relationship. You're just going to start looking at your partner differently. Like, yo, this guy doesn't make me happy. This woman, doesn't make me happy. Or better yet, I'm not happy with them, because you shouldn't be in a relationship for someone to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people get into relationships looking for the other person to complete them. But that's not why you're supposed to get into a relationship. Another person can't complete you. They're a whole another person. You understand what I'm saying? You have to complete you. Not only do you complete you, they have to complete them. Once you and your partner are complete on your own, then that's when you come together for a relationship, but I don't want to get off topic, but it's real. Relationship burnout is real, and I think a lot of people just don't really understand what relationship burnout is, why it happens, how it happens, or that it even exists. They just look at it as, hey, we're just going in different directions, or just whatever the case may be, right? So another thing with relationship burnout, right? How do you feel when you're around your partner? Do you feel like there's certain things that you can't say because your partner might be snappy, or do you feel like you kind of have to walk around on eggshells because your partner might this or that? Now, see, with that, right, it's most of the time, it's not your partner, it's you. it's because you are emotionally drained that you have this particular feeling, right? It's not always your partner. Sometimes it can just be you feeling as though you can't say anything, right? A lot of times the reason that you feel that you can't say anything is because maybe when you do feel like you say something, you don't get the results that you're looking for. And so now you feel like, well, you know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. Now, granted, you and your partner might be burnt out in a relationship. You and your partner might be burnt out in a relationship. So yeah, it might be a situation where both of y'all are burnt out that, yeah, anytime you say something or whatever, your partner may snap or, you know what I'm saying? And it's in reverse. But a lot of times people are not going to, like a husband who kind of, I guess, snaps at his wife when she says something is going to catch the slack from his wife, because she's always going to feel like I can't say anything to him because he's going to jump. But then a wife is not going to look at herself and say, well, you know what? I kind of do the same thing. When he says A, B, C, and X, Y, Z or whatever, I snap at him. See, it's always easy to point the finger at the other person. Most people are not really going to sit back and look at themselves and say, okay, you know what? I do the same thing. No, they typically are going to point the finger at the other person, right? You see what you look for, okay? We'll just put it like that. I'll just put it like that. You see what you look for, okay? If you're looking for fault in your partner, you're gonna find it. Most people are not gonna look for fault in themselves, so they're not gonna find it. They're gonna look for fault in their partner. Most people just need somebody to blame. That's just what it is, okay? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of put some things out there that if you're experiencing these things, you're more than likely dealing with, relationship burnout. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, you just get tired of the same thing over and over and over. Relationships sometimes get into a rut. They just become ordinary, like the same thing over and over and over. And just, it gets boring. And you know what I mean? And it just happens, you know what I mean? So you gotta keep your relationship exciting. You know what I mean? You have to keep it exciting. You have to keep it fun. You can't really get into a same routine day in and day out. You gotta switch it up. You do not want your relationship to become boring, or to become predictable, because you'll get burnt out in your relationship. And typically the one that gets burnt out in a relationship is usually the one that feels as though they're putting in the most work, right? And see, the issue with that, the person that feels like they're putting in the most work, you can have both partners that feel like they're putting in the most work. You understand what I'm saying? A husband can be putting in a whole bunch of work in one particular area that necessarily the wife isn't really too concerned about. And then the wife can be putting in a whole bunch of energy into an area that the husband isn't really, you know what I'm saying? So both of you are putting in work. It's just that her work, the wife's work, is not really being recognized because it might not be that important or an issue to the husband. And then the husband's work is not being recognized because the wife. Or, I mean, you can put this in any scenario, any situation. It doesn't have to just be husband and wife. It can just be partner, spouses, boyfriend, girlfriend, however, whatever the situation is, right? It's just that dynamic where one feels like they're putting in the most work. And one could be putting in the most work in a particular area. It doesn't mean that the other one, you know what I'm saying, that other spouse, partner, husband, wife, whatever, is not putting in just as much work, but it's just in a different area. You know what I mean? Again, you see what you look for, okay? So if one partner is putting in work in a particular area, that's not an area that you're looking at, and the other partner is putting in work in another area, but that's not an area that they're looking at, each one of you are going to feel like, I'm putting in all the work and they're not doing anything. So now that's why you both will feel emotionally drained and burnt out in that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Relationships at work. Relationships at work, and you have to constantly, you have to keep working on them. You have to keep working on them. So look, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick because I came across something and it really kind of caught my eye, and I was like, wow, let me see if I can let me see how I can, you know what I'm saying, try to like put that into you know what I'm saying, a video, and like, because I can definitely say I've been there. You know, I can definitely say that I've been there. I know for a fact that I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact that I have definitely been there. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to put this quick video together and just put together some signs that you know that you're probably burnt out in your relationship. And just, what do? You know what I'm saying? What do you do when you're burnt out in your relationship? Take a vacation. Take a vacation. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the relationship. It's definitely not the end of the relationship. But see, what happens is when most people get burnt out, that's the part where they say, yo, it's time for me to exit the relationship. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. I'm overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't know. They might feel like I'm depressed. I'm just drained. I can't. And most people just look at it like, okay, well, it's time to exit the relationship because I'm no longer getting from the relationship. I'm no longer getting from the relationship. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's wrong right there because you're not supposed to get. See, that's another problem with relationships. A lot of people feel like when you get into a relationship, it's all about what you're supposed to get. And that's a selfish way of looking at a relationship. Now, I know y'all gonna be like, well, what I'm gonna be in a relationship for if I ain't getting nothing out of it? Like, what's the point in being there? I could be by myself. And if you really know what a relationship is about, it's not about just what you can get out of that relationship. It's not, okay? It's really not. Trust me, it's not. And if that's why you're in your relationship, you're gonna have problems. If all you worried about is what you can get from the relationship, okay? So look, guys, I just wanted to put a few things together to say, hey, look, if you're feeling, some type of way in your relationship, things are not working out for whatever reason, I just wanted to kind of give you a few signs that, would show you that you could just be suffering from a burnout in a relationship, right? Just take a vacation. You know what I'm saying? Fall back, take a vacation by yourself. You know what I mean? Just get to know yourself. Do something by yourself. Do something just pretty much without your partner. Reconnect with yourself. And it's okay. You know what I mean? You don't even have to go on a vacation. You don't even have to go far. You don't just go stay in a hotel. Go get a nice suite. You know what I mean? Go stay on a resort somewhere just on the other side of town, or just whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just need to just reconnect with yourself, because a lot of us put so much into our relationships that we begin to lose ourselves. We're not even ourselves anymore. You understand what I'm saying? We're so burnt out and we're so drained, we don't even perform correctly at work. We can't even perform at 100% because we're tired, we're burnt out from home. Just whatever, but that relationship burnout is real, okay? So I just wanted to touch on a few things when it comes to relationship burnout. It's real, and you know what I'm saying? You might be suffering from it, all right? So look, guys, y'all be good. Thanks for checking me out, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.